Hello.
Welcome to Curious Monkey Gaming, and welcome back to the village of Podplumicky. If you're here for the first time, you might want to start with episode 1, which is linked below in the description. It is summer in year 6, and we got a new horse. Good to see. And as usual, it's good morning, Bogusz, and good morning, Amelia.
Hello there, dear.
What's on your mind? This place is truly a paradise. Our crops are getting better and better every year. Yes, they are.
Have a good day.
You too. You too. Sorry. Boguslav, Bogusz's son, has wandered off. What's on your mind, kid? Found a lizard again. He finds lizards and rocks often. So I've been thinking... I got thinking last episode, first of all, I have a plan, maybe for the first time, since I started the village of Podplumicky. And I'm going to keep a bit of a surprise, but let's just say I will have a special guest next episode. So, two things I've been thinking. One, I want to prepare a little bit for our special guest. Let's call her a guest decorator. So what I want to do for that is I want to make sure, first of all, that our excavation shed is collecting clay. We might need some clay. And I might turn, just for now, I might turn the limestone down all the way and turn the clay all the way up. Just to make sure that in autumn, year 6, we have a lot of clay. Do we need anything else? Actually, I might put them on a little straw as well. So let's say 100 clay a day. So we should have 300 clay by autumn. And quite a lot of straw as well. And let's see, what else are we going to need? We're in summer. I did have a plan for berries and deadly nightshade, but for decoration, which is what we'll be doing a lot of, we want dandelions, St. John's wort, and chicory. Why those? Because they are yellow. Henbane is also yellow, and the chicory is blue, which are our crest colors in Podplumicky. So decorating with those is going to be a good idea. Let's put them all at about equal. Let's say 25% should do the job. So that'll give us quite a lot of all of those by autumn, sorry. Let's see what the mine is doing. The mine is doing copper, tin, iron, stone. We're not really doing anywhere. Let's have a look down in the storage how much stone we have. Probably not that. No, 500. That is fine for what we're doing. So we'll leave the mine. Yeah, I think we can leave the mine doing what they're doing. I might actually try and get this a little more equal, so we're getting equal copper, tin, and iron. So that looks pretty equal now, 22-ish of each one per day. And let's see, what else have we got? The woodshed is doing logs, and yeah, that all looks pretty good. Hunting, we want leather probably. We're getting leather. We're not getting very much of it, to be honest. 4 a day is pretty weak. We could put another hunter in there. The other thing I wanted to do, last episode, I completely forgot with the people in the farm shed that I had put people in these 3 houses, which are all called cropside because they're right next to the crops. I had put people in there specifically to be farmers. So one of them I've got farming. That's good. Another one I've got farming. And then I've got 2 miners, and I'm not sure why. Dobrovoya and Dobromir. Easy to find since they're right next to each other. They've both got... Dobrovoya could actually be a farmer. She's got a 3 in farming, which is not great, but it's about the best we have at the moment. So let's replace... Actually, I need to look at the houses again. Give me a minute to sort this out. Okay, so that's a bit better. I've got the 4 farmers all living in Cropside. Forest S2 is right next to the market, so it's not far from the crops. And Cropside and Cropside. Okay, so I got that sorted out. And I think most of the things that we might need for decoration are being done, or at least the raw materials for decoration stuff. It's mostly extraction things. It's mostly the herbalist hut, which is getting lots of flowers, and the excavation shed, which is getting some clay and some straw. Yeah, I think that's all fine. And then we're also going to need wool. Oh, I put a worker in the fold, shearing sheep, but I didn't give them an assignment. That wasn't very smart of me. And our fields, we've got flax, cabbage, rye. Oh no, actually we've got cabbage. Lots of cabbage being taken in. And we've got some oats growing. Yeah, they are on the way growing. You can tell what they are by the names I gave them. OR is oats rye. ONCR is onions, cabbage, rye. The onions are ready to harvest and they will plant cabbage. The flax is ready to harvest and they will plant cabbage, and so on. So lots of flax harvesting going on. I might do some of the harvest because when you have a certain skill, let's look at the skills. Farming. If you have skilled farmer, you have 100% chance, so guaranteed to get additional crops if you have it at level 3. But that only applies to you. Only when you do the work is there actually a gain. Let's see. Do I have sickles? Or did I put them in the farm shed? Oops. Let me have a look. I might have put them in the farm shed. I sometimes do that. You don't have to. They can go in the resource storage. In fact, some would say they should go in the resource storage. I put them in the farm shed sometimes so that I can find them easily. And I sometimes put seed and grain in there as well, just to make sure that nobody cooks it or grinds it into flour. By the way, I just put out a day or two ago a complete guide to farming with villagers, which is perhaps the most confusing and hard to figure out thing when you're starting out. So check the channel for that. I hope it's helpful. Let me harvest all of this flax. So kind of racing my my villagers to get this done. But all of the flax is harvested. Put these scythes back. Oops, I didn't want to do that. I put my iron axe in there. Speaking of which, let's put it back in the wheel. So I've got lots of flax. I'm going to thresh it quickly and make linen thread.
Will it take long?
It will not take long, Alina. Not that long, because I have fast crafting turned on. Lots of flaxseed, lots of flax stalk. When you thresh flax, you get flax seed and flax stalk. Ah, unlocked the upgraded food storage. Flax is a grain, but it is not a grain like rye or oats or wheat. When you thresh rye or oats or wheat, you get a great deal of straw. When you thresh flax, you get flax stalk, which you can make into linen thread, and you get flax seed, which you can replant or sell. It sells for okay money. I think flax seed is the most expensive seed or grain if you want to sell it. So we got a whole bunch of linen thread. I think we already have a good collection of linen thread in the resource storage. If we scroll down, we already have 235. We can add 315. So we've got tons of linen thread. So the thing I've been thinking, the thing I started thinking about last episode is redesigning an area. I'm kind of happy. I'm mostly happy with how the market and the park turned out. I think I might knock out this wall and this gate because I constantly run across here and I bump into the gate and it slows me down every time I go across. So I might knock that out. And this area I've never really been happy with. I just sort of plopped it down and didn't really think about it. So let's do some village planning. And one way I like to do that is go into photo mode, get the widest field of view you can, and then go straight up. And let's see, go up as far as possible. And then we've got a really good view of this whole area. So let's see. Yeah, that's a good view. So this whole area over on the left, basically to the left of the road, all the way down to those rocks and where the two roads come together, I'd like to do something with that whole area. And I'd like to actually think about it a little more than I've been thinking about where to build things. It can be useful for planning to look at the size of buildings, first of all, if you want to have a bit of an idea about how to put down buildings, what buildings might fit where. So if we look from here, we know that this is the kitchen. And I'll put a list up on the screen. I made this list, but it's based on a video that somebody else did that I will link to down in the description, where he pretty carefully measured all of the different kinds of buildings. And we know the size of a kitchen. And based on the size of a kitchen, we can extrapolate the sizes of other things. So I know that I want to knock down the kitchen and the food storage and the well, which are there right now. And I want to leave a spot for a tavern. A tavern is a really nice building that you unlock later in the game. And once you have a tavern, you can make wines, you can make beer and mead and ale and all sorts of stuff. But it's also a place that all of your villagers will come to hang out. And it's nice if it has kind of a view. So I'd like to put it here. And based on that list, I know it's about this size. And then I need a place for my kitchen and my food storage. I might actually put down 2 kitchens and make a little courtyard out of those. The other thing that I've unlocked, but I haven't built anywhere yet, is the apiary, which will make honeycomb, which is used to make mead. I might put an apiary down here and build sort of a garden area in front of the apiary. I'm going to have to take out some trees. I'm going to be a little more aggressive about taking out trees. So these trees might all have to go. So yeah, that's kind of the rough plan. So let's get to work. If we take our hammer out, put it in destruction mode, I've got a bunch of stuff. I sort of started on some fencing over here, but didn't really ever do anything particularly interesting with it. Now, I can get rid of these chairs to start with. Okay, so the thing about moving a storage, if I open this up, you can see down the bottom right, I've got 1,000 capacity and it's only about half full. It will not let me destroy this building until I have somewhere else, essentially, to put that food. So, let me see. This is a level 2 food storage. So I need to build at least a level 2 food storage somewhere, at least temporarily. And then I can destroy that one, and then I can build a new one, and then I can destroy the temporary one. I could also just put a second food storage in, but I don't really want to. So I think I might just put a food storage over here. Food storage 2. And once that one's built, I can destroy the other one. Oh, damn it. You can see down the bottom right, there's the food storage icon and the resource storage icon. But if I go over here, I am out of range of the resource storage. So this was not a good place to build it. That's okay. That wasn't too big a mistake. I know that I'm not going to build my food storage, my new food storage here. So I might just build one here as the temporary one, because I know it's within range. And there we go. My temporary food storage is finished. So now you can see I've got a 2,000 capacity. So every storage you build adds its capacity to the total capacity, and all storages, all food storages, share one inventory, and all resource storages share one inventory. So no matter where you build your storage, could be anywhere on the map, you can access it from anywhere on the map through another storage. So let's get rid of the well. Basically just clear out this whole space. When you start destroying a kitchen or any working building, that puts the people in it out of work. Not a big deal. They will patiently wait for you to put them back to work. Their mood will go down a little bit, but not bad enough that they will leave or anything like that. This container is also not empty. So we've now got too much stuff in our inventory and we can't move. Let's call our trusty steed Tempest over. Although actually what I can do is I can put enough in there that I can move and go dump this stuff in the resource storage. So let's continue destroying. Yep, no, sorry. I put the flour in there. And there we go. We have created a big open space for ourselves. And we can't move again. So wait a minute for our horse, Tempest, to get over here. I think, I don't remember if it's, yeah. I think if you're within 20 meters, nope, got to be closer. I think it's then 15 meters. Yeah, 15 meters is close enough to put the things you're carrying into your horse's inventory. Good old Tempest. Yeah. Good girl. I might also just take out these walls for now. We're having a little destruction fest. Take out this gate. I might take this path out as well and probably put it back later. We'll see. And I think I want the fence between the market and the park to not be a stone wall. Very good. So I've got that opened up a bit. I might put a gate. Actually, wait a sec. Yeah. I might put a gate with a little roof. Oops. A little roof kind of on it like this. Put that in here. Like that. Put one on the other side as well. Yeah. So that we have a much wider entrance and no iron gate to slap me and slow me down every time I run over there. And I can go ahead and build those probably. Yeah. And I was thinking a plank fence like this might be nice between the market and the park. Which side do we want to be on which side? All right, so why am I putting those in there? Basically just because it gives it a bit more variety, so that we've got, you know, a stone wall over here, and then we've got a fence over here. You notice there's a gap here. I intentionally put a gap there. Really, I did. I'm going to fix it later, because I want to replace the stone walls. We've got some ugly gaps in the stone walls, and I want to take those out. This I also want to take out because it's way too narrow. So let's replace that lantern. We haven't got enough wool thread for a lantern. Let's go make some wool thread. Can't make much yet, but we've got a farmer diligently collecting wool. So at the end of the season, we'll be able to make a lot more wool thread. But this will be enough that I can put that lantern up, at least. I'm carrying too much. So let's... I'm carrying too much because I got a bunch of building materials back for destroying things. Especially like 45 stone. Stone weighs 1 kilo each. So carrying around a lot of stone will slow you down quite a bit. So what we want is that right behind this post. And turn it around so it's facing sort of straight out. Yeah, like that. So we've got a nice large opening to get into our storage and our workshops and such. And we've got a much smaller, we've got a new lantern. Also, I've been meaning to destroy this extra woodshed. I'm not using it at the moment at all. So I may as well get rid of it. And I can always put another one on the other side if I want to. It also occurred to me that this gate is great, but it goes the wrong way. It should go this way, so that when I open it, it swings out of the way. Like this. Yeah, that's much better. Excellent. So that's adjusting those. But what I want to do over here is, first of all, I want to take out the... Just to clean the area up, I'm going to pull all of these little saplings. By the way, in case you don't know, these little saplings that give you sticks, they never grow into trees. Some people think they do, which is sensible, really, but they don't. They will never grow into trees no matter what you do. So I'm going to take down this tree. And this smaller tree over here as well. I'm basically taking out all of the small trees. I'll try and work around the larger trees. These small trees are kind of garbage anyway. Birch trees are... They don't give you many logs. I don't find them particularly pretty. Although I guess they're kind of nice in autumn, because they do end up being quite yellow, which is nice. But I don't mind knocking down some of those because I have plans to build some really nice things in place of them. Get this, and there was another birch stump over here. Yeah, that one. So we've got one big tree here. We've got one kind of medium. No, I'm going to take that one as well. When you're taking trees, I've said it before, but I'll say it again. When you're taking trees, be careful about which ones you take. Because if you take the stump, that tree is gone forever. And will never grow back. No matter what you do. These... Okay, let's get the horsey out of the way. I don't want Tempest to be hit by a falling tree. Because I'm going to take out these two big spruce trees as well. Normally, I might... Well, actually, I might just take one of them. Definitely need to take this one. Because this is where I was talking about I want to put a tavern. Eventually. I can't build a tavern right now. The tavern, if you look in the technology tree, it's under production. It's all the way at the bottom. We're not that far away from being able to build a tavern, actually. So it won't be, it might be next year, but I can't build it quite yet. The tavern is the biggest building in the game. It is 7 by 8 farming plots. So we can reserve space by either putting down a field, which is 7 by 8, or we can put down a resource storage, which is 7 by 7, and leave a little extra space. I think we're going to find out. I mean, you can... Actually, while I'm thinking of it, I should... It's getting a little bit dark. I should probably drink a potion of night vision. I haven't got a potion of night vision. I wonder whether I can make them. I don't remember what they are made of. Let's drop off a whole bunch of stuff because we're riding really slow. with Tempest. You don't have to transfer things from your horse this way. You can do it totally remotely, as I talked about in last episode. But I actually kind of like riding my horse into the resource storage, so why not? Just getting rid of all this stuff so that Tempest and I can ride like the wind up to the herbless hut.
Oh, I'm dying of thirst.
So I need a clay vial, 10 nightshade, 5 henbane, and a bucket of water. Oh, and I don't have enough resource. I don't have enough technology to actually get potions of night vision. That's very inconvenient, isn't it? Maybe I'm going to race into Piastovia quickly. I have tons of money. Do not ride your horse at full speed into a tree. It's bad for you and it's bad for the horse. Actually, it's not that bad for the horse. Tempest didn't take any damage, but it will interrupt your ride. Ah, Ludmila. She's having a pint at the beer. Show me your wares. Potion of night vision. Give me all of them. May as well get some potions of... And while I'm at it, I could get some nightshade and make them myself.
Best goods in the realm. So long.
So, let's have a potion of night vision, which helps both of us see a little bit better. I always forget how time-consuming building and planning and renovating can be. It seems like this day went really quickly. I'm just going to have a quick look. Production 3 is not bad. Production 3 again. This guy is what I officially call a loser. He hasn't got any 3s. He's only got 2s and 1s. So if we go to the person list and down the bottom right, there's a remove control, and we remove him. He will walk off the map and we will never see him again. There's a Emerika, wait a sec. Emerika's got a farming 3 and a production 3. This guy's only got production 3, so I'll take Emerika.
Oh, it's you again.
And we can give her a home. She's 18. And what homes can she go in? She could only go in Forest N1 and Mine 1. So let's look at Forest N1. It's got a 29-year-old man in it. He's actually too old to marry her, because they have a... Oh, wait, no, sorry. The player has a 10-year limit. The villagers have a 20-year limit. So if I put her with Roch, who is in Mine 1, it will take a long time for them to marry because their ages are so far apart. So we'll put her in there. And we'll give her a job doing production. Or in the barn, maybe. She could go in the workshop. And I could start automating wooden vials and clay vials, which are used for potions. Or she could go in the barn. I might put her in the barn to start with. And let's look at what they're doing in the barn. They're making flour out of rye grain, and they're making fertilizer. And they could also be threshing rye grain. So let's turn down the flour. We don't have an urgent need for flour at the moment. Let's just call it 3 a day. And they can be making rye grain with the rest of their time.
These days develop so fast.
I hope our king is going to reign as long as possible. But usually...
So we're lucky with the king. If you look at the map, at the top, you have his name, and his name tells you what kind of king he is. The generous means he's a good king. And then to the right of that, it says very good. That's our relationship with him. And because of that relationship, inside the brackets, we have minus 10% taxes and plus 5 to our villagers' mood. So we're actually pretty lucky with that. We're going to ignore the herald. The herald is on the map. You can see a little, oops. You can see a little icon there, which is like a horn. That means the herald is on the map. He appears randomly. Wait a sec. I'm just going through the, if we stay on the main or the quest filters, you can see him. And he appears randomly every season. To say that better, there is a random chance that he will appear every season. And every season that he doesn't appear, the chance increases. So he is on the map at the moment. If we ignore him, that's no problem. If we go and talk to him, we can take a challenge, King's Challenge from him, which will, if we complete it, increase our relationship with the king. So that very good will become excellent, I think, is the next step up. And decrease our taxes even more and increase our villagers' mood even more. But I don't want a King's Challenge right now because I want to concentrate on renovating that area we were talking about. And King's Challenges are always kind of risky. They can be, some of them are really easy. Like sometimes he just wants coin and you can just pay him and that's it. But sometimes he wants like a bazillion Vezant and deer skulls or something like that, which is a real pain in the ass to do. So I'm going to ignore him this season. And we're going to send Bogusz off to bed. Good morning,
Hello.
Amelia. She gave us a pear. Nice. How's our little kingdom doing? Structures are deteriorating.
Have a
Yeah,
nice day.
I noticed that. I didn't really want to run around and repair buildings, which I probably should. But actually, you know what I might do? Because we've got this road here and it's right in front of our house, might get this tree out of the way. It is kind of in the middle of the road. Cutting down trees in the middle of a settlement can be risky. When the tree falls down, it will damage your buildings if it falls on a building. So you want to be careful about that. Usually, more or less, when a tree falls, it falls away from where you're standing when you cut it. So that can be a way to sort of direct where it's going to fall. This birch tree has also always kind of... no, I'll leave it. I'm getting distracted. Let's get back over here. park Tempest in the market and see about this area. So like I was saying, a tavern is 7 by 8. These are not absolutely exact, perfect measurements, but it's about 7 by 8. So this is already going to be 7 by 8 farm plots. So I'm going to have to take this tree too. And like I said, trees usually fall away from you, which is why I'm facing this way, so it doesn't fall on anything in the market and damage it. Grab these logs. I'm going to have to take this tree as well. If you have the problem that trees fall on you and hurt you, it probably means that you're standing too close. Sorry, that you're moving around too much when you're cutting. If you stand still and cut down a tree, it will fall away from you, so it will probably not hurt you. So that's 7.
It's off to work I go.
That's 8. That could be where our tavern goes. That's probably as good as it's going to get. And here's a little open spot where we could put some outdoor tables. Yeah. I might leave that there. I won't grub it up. I'll just leave it there because when we take out our hammer and put it in destroy mode, it shows us that. So it's a good sort of reserved spot for a tavern. And this tree gets to stay. For now. Turns out this was actually probably a dumb place to put a temporary food storage. But we'll deal with that. So if we leave some space, I might have probably, I didn't plan that well. I'm probably going to have to build a temporary food storage to replace the temporary food storage so that we can put down the permanent future food storage. Anyway, so this whole area coming all the way over here, this was where I was thinking it might be nice to build an apiary and a bit of a garden in front of the apiary. So...
Starving.
Uh-oh. Bogusz is starving. So we can eat that pear that she gave us, and we can eat some dried fish meat. That should keep us for a while. So... let's see. Buildings, animal husbandry, apiary. How big is the apiary? It's not huge. I was thinking it could go kind of as far back here as it can. Little space around it. And maybe there. And we could think about a road. I'm just thinking right now, a road that comes out from it and curves around to go over this way. But I usually do roads last because they will block buildings. And therefore it's kind of nice to build the buildings and then build the roads. Yeah, it turns out this food storage here was a really dumb idea. So I'm going to have to build a second temporary food storage back here somewhere so that it's really out of the way. I don't want to cut down any of these trees just for a temporary food storage. So let's see where we can get one in. Oh, we can probably get it in where we had the... Yeah, exactly. Where we had the old woodshed. So, not conserving resources very well, but we'll get some back when we destroy the other food storage. If you don't know, there is a skill under, I think it's under, yeah, it's under extraction, which is also basically building. It's called Master of Destruction, and as long as you have it, there's only one rank, and as long as you have it, you get 50% of resources back when you destroy a building. So, we've got our temporary food storage built. And we can come over here and destroy this one. Yeah, I don't know what I was doing putting that food storage there, because when you're building out a new area, of course it's nice to have a big open area that you can really play with and think about. So we're going to build a bit of a road here. It'll come along the side of the future tavern. And I was thinking also of building maybe a round road, a circular road in front of the apiary, so that we can have a nice little park kind of area for it. And then over here, sort of come out of this park, and you could come into a courtyardish area, which could have a food storage. We have the food storage 3, so we'll go ahead and build one of those. That could be lined up with our road. So the park and everything else is built kind of lined up with... that's going to be a bit tight, actually. Let's build it over here, close to the road next to the tree, and push it back a bit. Close to the tree, just fits in between the road and the tree. Okay, let's see how big a kitchen is. Production, kitchen level 2. We could also just turn it around and line it up with the food storage. One of the things I like to do to line things up, if you're not, especially if you're not building by the compass, is you can see there how the line of the existing blueprint, you can also do this with already built buildings, the line of the existing blueprint lines up, and if you edge it in, you can see very clearly that those are lined up. And you can do it on the side as well. So basically there, when you stop seeing it sticking out, there it's sticking out, here it's not, those are lined up. So get it there, and then you've got basically the edges here lined up, and they're square with each other as well. I might build a second kitchen. We're not going to need it for a while. Whoops. Production, kitchen level 2. We're not going to need it for a while, but I think it's maybe not a bad idea. And we want these lined up right next to each other. So you can lay it right on top and then just walk straight to the left. So we could have 2 kitchens there. So we've got sort of a wide area for a road here. Come through. Have our food courtyard, so to speak. The other thing that's missing from our food courtyard, extraction well. Well. As the guy who works in the well says. And again, I'm lining these lines up and then walking straight to the left. And we could put... So we've got sort of a courtyardy food drink area there. A large space to come through here. I still don't have a smithy over here. But considering this is like food storage, kitchens, tavern, apiary, and a park back there, I don't think a smithy really fits. So I might actually look over here. This is kind of our little production courtyard area. And I'm wondering whether maybe if we run around the back of it, since we fenced it all in, we could knock down this fence and put a smithy right here. What do you think of that idea? Let me know down in the comments if this is all crazy or not. Maybe not Cosmatius. Terrain's too uneven to build. Might need to take that tree out. And of course our temporary food storage is in the way now. But okay, we'll leave the smithy for now. We can deal with that a bit later.
Come see my wares. If you don't like what you find, well, we all...
So, if we go back into our hammer destroy mode, we can see this is going to be our tavern. These things are over here. We can go ahead and maybe build the food storage, which will get... We're kind of low on logs. Are we in range of our resource storage? Yes. Okay. So we can get rid of all of those logs. We've got a bunch in our horses inventory. Go over and drop those off. I think all of this is going to be quite nice. And then, like I said, my plan is for next episode to have a guest decorator come over and help me make, especially this area,
Onward!
nicer. I can park Tempest in the future tavern. So, let's go to build mode. Could go ahead and build the well already in case we need a drink. Well is very cheap and easy to build. So, the level 3 food storage has stone walls. So it looks kind of nicer than the old food storage. You can, if you want to, you can insulate workplaces like food storages. It's not really a workplace. No one works there, but you know what I mean. Non-house buildings, let's call it that. You can insulate them, but there's no function to it. It doesn't decrease firewood usage because people don't live there. I guess they don't heat their workplaces. It's purely if you like the look of an insulated building. So I'm going to destroy the temporary food storage. You can see that we now have a 3,000 capacity. And then when we go over to the other one, we will have a look at the capacity after we've destroyed this one. Okay, so the old food storage is gone, or the old second temporary food storage is gone. And we're loaded up on materials because we get them back when we destroy things. Put those away. And we've got our new food storage over here. And you can see it's 2,000 now. So the old one had a 1,000 kilo capacity. And this one, now that it's the only one, has a 2,000. But it was 3,000 because they combine capacity. That's how you get more space for storage. Just build more or upgrade existing storages. Alright, so we're missing planks for the kitchen. Run over to our workshop area. Also, I was thinking it might make a little sense.
I need some water.
Oh, good thing that we just built a well, isn't it, Bogusz? I'm probably going to end up reorganizing a lot of things because we're going to have a road coming along here next to our tavern. I want the tavern to be over here because I want the open side of it. One side of the tavern is open. I want it to have a view over all of this. Down to the river and across to the farm and all of that. So we're going to have a road coming along here. So maybe we want to knock a road through the park. But what I was more thinking is this bit, we could have a road right here, which would then line up with the entrance to the resource storage and the production area. I think that would kind of make sense. But let's make planks. First of all.
I was using that.
Sorry, Milan, deal with it. We're starting to run out of planks and logs. That is a pity. We might actually, we haven't had to do it in a while ourselves, but we might have to go cut some trees. But for now, we can get the kitchen finished. For sure. And then we might be running a little low. Especially if we want to build that second kitchen. Why a second kitchen? Well, one of them can employ a couple of people, specifically these couple of people, and feed your villagers. The other one can then be doing things like producing cheese or whatever you want, and you can sell it. I thought I had a guy, Odelant, there he is. So these guys are good at production. They can be producing. And let's go back here and have a look. We're out of range, I assume. Oh, no. Not quite out of range. There's our apiary, which is nice. We can actually... There was a lady that we got and put in the farm. Put in the barn, rather. So the apiary is the building that ranks up farming the fastest. So I'm going to put I'm going to take Bozbor out of the barn and put him in the apiary. Bozbor. Good, good. So he can be back here, tending to the bees. We're going to run out of logs. Yep. Yep. Pretty much out of logs. But we'll get the second kitchen done soon. And I wanted to... It's getting a little late in the day, so let's have a potion of night vision. Wow, everything got very bright.
But usually the best ones.
I was actually thinking we'll probably want to destroy these market stalls. Yeah, we'll have to destroy these market stalls to make a path through here. I'm actually starting to wonder. So this is the short side of this placeholder for the tavern. I think that's the only way that it can fit on this piece of land. Yeah, I think that's the only way that it can fit. Just occurred to me, we put somebody in a production building. Oh, did we not? I thought we recruited somebody and put them in the workshop. Where did we put them? Who have we got in the mine? The mine I always think of as kind of an extra building, as sort of a storage for workers, where there's 6 of them, and I don't need all 6 of them necessarily always in the mine. Visabora, for example, she's in the excavation shed where I actually want her. Dobrovoya is in the mine. I can put her in the workshop. So why am I doing that? I want to earn production technology so that I can get the tavern. Also, she can make things that we can sell. She can make things that we need, like buckets and wooden bowls. She can also make... I haven't unlocked them, but let's get her making, let's say, 2 torches a day. We can sell those. They don't sell for a crazy amount of money, but it's just something that can add to our market stall that sells them. So we need to go over to the workshop and unlock... Oops, this is the workshop. Unlock a few things. First of all, we need clay vials and wooden vials for sure. We may need some of these things for decorating next episode, but I'll leave that until then. We have plenty of money for unlocking those things. We need clay vials for sure. I know that we're probably going to want clay vases. Bottles and things we don't need really that much until we get... Let's make these. I'll go ahead and unlock things now. I'm sure we're going to need Some baskets. I'll go ahead and get a hand lantern as well. May as well unlock a lot of these, really. Plates we're probably going to need for decorating. Yeah, leave that for now. Vases with flowers, also nice for decorating. Let's just go ahead and get all of them unlocked. Like I said, we've got tons of money right now. And we haven't even sold anything this season or been across to pick up some money. Almost 9,000. So that's nice. So now that we've done that, we can put Dobrovoya on creating wooden vials, which we're going to need for potions, and clay vials, which we're also going to need for potions. We can be creating a few of those in the background and a few of these as well. Let's make it 5 of these. And she can make some buckets as well, just maybe 1 a day. And the rest we can fill up with torches. So now she's being productive. She's producing, let's see, she's using 7 planks a day. So we definitely want to get more logs and planks happening. But she's creating 50 wooden vials a day. 10 clay vials. What? I thought it was the other way around. Total per day 50. And here, oh, that's right. When you create wooden vials, it creates 10 at a time. I forgot. So let's reduce that actually. Clay vials, it's 1 at a time. Wooden vials, it's 10 at a time. So that's better. 10 wooden vials, 20 clay vials. Only using 3 planks a day. And torches we can turn up. We're doing 4.5 torches a day. Whoops. Which means we can, I believe torches are on the tool stall. Or not. They should be on the tool stall. I'm just blind sometimes. There it is. Torch. And we're getting... let me turn this down, turn this up to 4.5. Let's call it just 4. And bronze shearing scissors, we have 0. So I need to fix that. The Smithy is producing them, but they're only producing 1.2 a day. I'm not worried about the armor. I turned this up last episode, I think, to create armor. For this, we need 1.2 bronze bars. Let's turn that up a bit more. To make 3 bronze bars, we need 3 copper and 3 tin as well. And that means we could turn this up to 3 or close to it. Yeah, that's fine. So I think we're gonna take this stone fence. It's really a wall more than a fence. Take this out completely. I'm not going crazy. I know what I'm doing here. Trust me. Why am I knocking the whole thing down? Partly because I don't really like... there's a gap right here. And the only way to fix that is to put down one whole piece of... one long piece of stone wall all at once. At corners, it doesn't matter, so I'm going to leave this bit. But... for those gaps, it's really hard to fix them without putting down a whole bunch at once. So over there is our opening for the workshop area, or the production area, I guess is better to call it. So we want to put a log gate. Want to make sure we're facing a cardinal point of the compass, west in this case. And I want to put... that's pretty good. So if we're facing there and we're on west on the compass, and I line this up and I go straight across, then we can put another gate right there. And that's not going to line up with down there because I made it pretty narrow. Gates, log gate with a little roof. Face west on the compass again. And it probably needs to be quite close to the road for us to get the wall behind the existing market stalls. And we're going to take these gates out, and now I can't move. So, can take out this gate as well. And then I think I'll put down the stone walls, stone fences, officially. And it'll be bedtime for Bogusz. Yeah. So this is the one I want to be careful with, because I want to run this down. That's not very straight, but I'll take it. Stone fences are much more tolerant of overlapping than a lot of things are. You can put them in places that a lot of things would not allow you to put them. Like here, I can overlap them very easily. I can overlap them with this gate quite a bit. I can overlap them with this gate quite a bit. Nope, that's not quite as close as overlappy as I wanted it. That's not bad. Get this roughly lined up with the road next to it. There we go. And I reckon it's time for Bogusz to go to sleep because it's gotten pretty dark. All right. Good morning, Bogusz. Good morning, Amelia.
Oh, it's you again.
And she gave me a carrot. How's our little kingdom? That would be it. Come another time. So that basically means everything's fine. What's on your mind? I love all the responsibilities I have. I wish our settlement would grow endlessly. Well, it won't quite. Her affection is dropping a little bit, but her mood is up from last season. So I'm going to give her a gift. Amelia.
Greetings, my love.
Romance to give her a gift. I got you a little something. Golden ring. Boom. Affection went up 7, so it's back up to 100%. She is a loving lady. So let's get Tempest back over to the resource storage and dump a bunch of stuff. So what I'm thinking is we'll have a road, or at least an opening through the market straight over into the production courtyard, the industrial courtyard. You know what? I'm going to ride Tempest in there. You don't have to. You never have to. But I really like... And it feels like the resource storage was designed for this because it has such a big, huge open door. And even though you totally don't have to do this, you don't have to physically be near your horse. You've got 15 meters. I still somehow like doing it in the world. Like, look at the horse, open the horse's inventory, take the things out, open your inventory. Somehow that just works better with the way my brain works. So, one thing we want to do is, if possible, finish this kitchen. You can also see that I'm getting dirty. There's the dirty meter down there in the bottom left. And that means you're getting dirty. What is the effect of getting dirty? Not that much, really. But one of the things it does is it poisons you when you eat. If you are dirty, you will get poisoned when you eat. Or I'm not sure. It might... I don't know if it's completely... yeah, okay, so our bronze shearing scissors are running out too fast. Let's put it down to 2 for the moment. It'll catch up because the Smithy is producing... not even quite 2. Okay. Yeah, then let's... Actually, let's have a look at our storages, resource storage. Bronze bars. We have quite a lot of bronze bars. So, in production, we can turn down bronze bars. Let's make that 1 a day. Turn up bronze shearing scissors 2 and a bit a day, and then we can put our tool stall on selling, let's say, 1.5 a day. It's still going to take a little while for the Smithy to catch up, but it will. They will. I love this line of people. It's actually really stupid, but what these people are doing... Oh. They are actually just hanging out, standing, doing nothing, right next to each other. Okay, guys. Whatever. Weirdos. Let's see if these two guys just walk up and stand next to them. Because they might. They very well might. Yep. So we've just got a little congregation of men standing around doing nothing. Alright, guys. I'm gonna cruise up to the mountainy area behind the lake because it's a good spot to gather a bunch of logs, cut down a bunch of trees. It's far enough away that it's kind of out of sight of my village, so I'm not creating an eyesore by cutting down a bunch of trees. And let's just load up. So I loaded up on logs. And I also realized something while I was out shopping. Part of the reason my bronze shearing scissors are running out is I put someone on the shearing shed, and of course they're using them. And I'm also selling them, so I'm going to go down to the Smithy quickly.
No worries. I'll wait.
So if you want someone to use a specific tool,
No one can destroy the metal. The metal will strike you down with a vicious blow.
you can, I'll show you a little trick. Villagers who are working, I might make also some extra bronze shearing scissors just to build up a little surplus for the market stall. So you can trick your villagers. It's not really a trick, I guess. You can get your villagers to use certain things by putting them in certain places. So anything you put in resource storage is accessible to any villager. So for example, my bronze shearing scissors, the market stall's pulling them to sell, and the fold is pulling them to shear sheep. But if I go over to the fold and I go inside and somewhere, if I can get past the sheep, there's this sack, which is basically like a chest in any other workplace. And I put the iron shearing scissors in there. The way villagers pull things is they will pull the worst quality item from their workplace first, then they'll move to better quality items, and then when there's nothing they need in their workplace, they'll pull it from the resource storage or the food storage, depending on where they're working. So if I put iron shearing scissors in the fold, they will use those, and they will not use bronze shearing scissors until the iron shearing scissors are all gone. Good to know. Good to know. So that means my bronze shearing scissors will not be used for work. They'll only be sold until those iron shearing scissors run out. And it takes a long time for them to run out. So there's a market stall that says they need something. Food stall has run out of eggs. Okay, so let's have a look at that. Production, the kitchen is... Oh, the kitchen's not doing anything because I forgot to define their work orders. I don't have any berries. I can't make anything else. So, rye grain and wooden bowls we have. Rye bread, we don't have any eggs at the moment. But we will, because the hen house is producing 36 eggs a day. So the kitchen, 36 eggs a day. We need 2 eggs for 1 rye bread. 36 eggs a day will get us, what is that? 18 rye breads a day. So let's make, I think 8 rye breads a day is actually more than enough for the food we need. We can tell by going to food items, rye bread has a value of 85. 8 times 85. I suck at math, so I'm taking out a calculator. Is 680. We have a food demand of 960. So that's not going to completely satisfy our food demands. So let's also make the rest fill up with gruel. So they need rye grain and flour and eggs. Actually, I'm going to take Tempest. Just to get a head start on the eggs, we can go down to the hen house and collect the eggs we see there ourselves. Should be a lot. That nest we got 5. Another 5. It looks like all of these nests are full and they're each going to give us 5 eggs and 5 feathers. This stuff, manure on the floor in the pigsty or nests, are extra. You don't have to pick them up, but you can pick them up if you want. Your villagers do not pick them up. The eggs and feathers that your villagers produce, or the manure in the pigsty, or whatever, are separate from the things you see. So those are there purely as an option if you want to pick them up. So they go in the food storage, which we now have a level 3 food storage over here. And then, because we're using, let's see, we're using 16 eggs a day. That means that and we're producing 36, so the food stall can only sell 20 a day. So let's turn that down to 15. They're selling flatbread with onion. We're almost out of it. The kitchen, I think, was also producing flatbread with onion, wasn't it? Let's look at demand. Our people need 960 a day. We are getting low on foods. We've got apples and pears, but they're only very low food value, 4 and 3. We need to be producing something dependably, which is high food value. So we're going to be producing rye bread and gruel. And we should be producing enough of that to be enough for the food that people need. But we have to put eggs in there to give it a head start. Now, if we look at the kitchen, there's enough rye grain for gruel. There's enough eggs for rye bread. Should maybe be creating flatbread with onion. Where is flatbread with onion? Should move that way up. It's got a higher food value, but only slightly higher than gruel. And it requires a lot more resources. porridge with berries is going to be nice, but we turned off berries. We're not gathering berries because we wanted a lot of flowers. That's fine. That's fine. Pottage requires a fair bit of stuff. It requires cabbage and meat and a bowl, and is much slower to create than gruel. We already went through that. Soup is also not bad, but I don't think we can make it. Let's see. Soup. Soup requires meat and beetroot, or salted meat and beetroot, and we don't have any beetroot. So, should be fine for food for the moment, but we'll have to have a look at it. Maybe next episode we'll have to have a look at it and see if maybe we want to make something else that has a higher food value. We need 12 planks, and then we can finish this. There we go. So we have 2 kitchens and, yeah, a nice courtyardy area. We've got the apiary back here, and we've got someone in the apiary. Ah, but we didn't tell him what to do.
Damn it!
I always forget this. Always, always, always. Yep. The only thing the apiary can do is honeycomb, and it'll do a lot of honeycomb. So let's put it all into the food stall. Honeycomb, by the way, might also be a food option. Where is it? Here it is. It's only 6, but it's basically free. And it can be a good option for some extra food. Right now we're actually doing really well for food. You can see over on the right we've got a demand of 966 a day, but we've got 2,200 already saved up. So for now, I'm going to sell the honeycomb. There we go. And we're producing 45 a day, 46. So let's put this up to around 45. We've got 0 at the moment, but that's fine. He'll catch up pretty quickly. The beekeepers are kind of freaky looking. They really look like more like serial killers than beekeepers. But anyway, so he's going to work, and he'll start producing quite a lot of honeycomb pretty quickly. The other thing, let's look at making a circular road. So the way I like to make circular roads, and I got this as a tip from somebody online, is if you take a fence. So I'm going to line this up with the middle of the beekeeper. No, we don't want to do it that way because we need the compass. So what we're going to do, you see up in the compass, I'm pointing at northeast. Oops. This will be the center of where I want the circular road to be. And we're going to run a fence out to the center of that. Again, if you've got your hammer out so that you can see it, it's a good idea. So because we were pointing at northeast before, We can now point at northwest so that we're at a right angle to that fence. And we can get at about where the end of that fence is. And we come out and we can measure it. You see how it clicks? Click, click. That's when it's going out to a certain maximum distance of a fence piece. And then it's clicking into the next one. So that's 3. And if we go out until it clicks to 4, and then we go back, that's 3 maximum pieces. All right, so when it clicks out to 4, and you go back a little bit, so that's 4, that's 3. All right. Oh, sorry, that's 4. Take off one of them. So we're going to make our pieces 3. So now we've got 3 and 3. That may actually be too big. Yeah, if we do 3 out in the other direction, it's going to be too long. So let's start over. Maybe it doesn't need to be lined up with the center also of the apiary. It's maybe better to have it lined up with the road that's going to come out here. Quickly have a look at these buildings that have a problem. The food stall is missing resources. No flatbread with onion, that's fine. We can turn that down. We've got lots of eggs. We've got lots of cabbage still. We can turn cabbage down a bit. Just make it last longer for selling. And production has a problem. The workshop is out of planks and planks. Yeah, that's fine. I'm going to turn the buckets off. We probably have lots of buckets by now. The wooden vials, we need 1 plank a day. So let's make slightly less of those. And I'll put the woodshed, just that we're keeping up with that demand. Put the woodshed on 1 plank a day. So we're getting 29 logs, 12 firewood, 125 firewood, and 2.5 planks. That's good. That's good. That should be fine. We've still got damaged buildings, but we'll deal with that for now. So what I wanted to do with the roads,
Dinner time.
first of all, I wanted to make a 2-track road. You can do that by kind of putting 2 roads more or less next to each other. So we want to line up with south on the compass. And we can run straight through here. Put down a road next to the road. And then it looks kind of like a large wagon tracks, 2 wagon tracks or something like that. And then we want to, let's line it up with east on the compass. And we can put down another road going up here. So that's what we're going to use as where the center of our circular road should be. And it can basically be right here-ish. 1, 2, 3. 4 and back. There we go. So that's going to be where our circular road is going to be. And let's go out this side. Ooh. Facing west. 2, 3, 4, and back a little bit is 3. Yep. Okay. So essentially what you do is you build yourself some guides with these pieces of road. And you use your compass to make sure that you're more or less lining them up. 3. More or less lining them up to be pointing at compass points. And then they can serve as a guide. And all you're doing with this is a guide, right? When we're done building a circular road, we're going to destroy all of these bits of fence. So that's 3. And that will give you something roughly square. But what we want is something circular. So this is why we bought potions of night vision. So now we can start putting down road, and it looks pretty good. Certainly, I think good enough. If you basically do a line straight across to the next piece, but you can also do about halfway and back up a little bit, and then go over to the next piece. And you can do this and redo it and practice with it and get it just perfect. But I'm going to call that good enough. It's a bit angular. It's not perfectly smooth everywhere. And then you can go back and get rid of all these fence pieces. But man, just with some building, it really takes up time. It feels like you didn't do that much, and yet it's the end of day 3 already. So I'm just going to join this road up. With the circle. Circle-ish. And I think then it's time for Bogusz to go to bed. Although I could build all of this wall that I put down. I forgot about it. What's needed over here? 4 planks. This one's going to need also 4 planks. Let's go ahead and make 8 planks. Probably going to run out of time in this season. If you want, you can always go to the map and you can see what time it is. It is 11:15 in the evening. So, that is better. I'm going to have to move this market stall over here. And probably move this one over a bit as well. But then we've got a straight shot through the market into the industrial courtyard, so to speak. I like it. And then we've got this road over here. We're going to have a gorgeous tavern over here. We've got a big double road coming through the middle, and we've got a little road coming over to a circular road and an apiary. Could even put a second apiary over here, possibly. And I bet that my special guest star next episode and I can turn this into a nice garden. And we've got a little food courtyard over here. So I'm going to call that a pretty productive season. Right on back. Man, when you start doing stuff like this, it feels like there's so much to do. And I feel like there is still so much to do. So I'm going to say goodnight to Bogusz, goodnight to Amelia, and goodnight to you. I hope you are enjoying your medieval dynasty. I hope you have enjoyed this episode. If so, give it a like, please. It does help the channel. And if you'd like to keep up with the Let's Play and my ongoing series of tutorials for medieval dynasty, why don't you subscribe to the channel? I look forward to seeing you in autumn in Podplemiki.